So we're starting out in a comfortable seated position and closing the eyes. Start to quiet your thoughts. Leave aside all your to-do lists, all your worries, whatever you have going on today. Leave it all aside and allow this time for yourself. Try to shut out whatever may be going on in your house. Start to deepen and lengthen your breath. And while you're doing that, start to wiggle your spine up a little straighter, bringing your head up closer towards the ceiling, sitting up nice and tall. And then tuck the chin just slightly, getting just a little stretch in the back of your neck. This little movement helps to calm the body down. And next, take a nice deep inhale. And then take a long, slow exhale out through your mouth. And deep breath in. Long, slow exhale out through your mouth. Continue to do a few rounds of breath this way. And with each exhale, let go of anything that doesn't serve you. Completely let go of the stresses, worries, negativity, at least for this hour. Do one more round of breath this way. And then return to your natural breath. If you'd like, you can place your hands at heart center. I'll read to you a quote before we start today. Just keeping your eyes closed, hands at heart center if you'd like. Yoga is not a workout, it is a work in. And this is the point of spiritual practice, to make us teachable, to open up our hearts, and to focus our awareness so that we can know what we already know and be who we already are. So remember that in your practice today, it's not so much about a workout and the muscles and getting a six-pack, and it's about what's happening on the inside. They're both great, they both will happen, but be open to what can happen when you do yoga, what will happen on the inside. Slowly open your eyes and start to place your hands on top of your legs. We're going to start out in child's pose. So coming to your mat, you can have wide knees or knees together, whatever works best for you. If you take your knees wide, you're going to get more of a hip opener. Big toes on top of each other if the knees are wide, sitting back on your heels either way, stretching the arms up, getting a nice stretch. It's not like a lazy rest arms, we're just stretching the arms. Bringing awareness back to the breath. Feeling your body as it sinks a little deeper into your mat. On your next inhale, start to rock your head side to side. So just kind of rolling on your forehead, stretching your neck. And bring the head back to center. And then on your next inhale, start to lift your head and we'll come up onto hands and knees. You took your knees wide, bring your knees underneath your hips. And we're gonna do thread the needle. So we'll lift the right arm out, stretch it up as little or as much as you need. And then we're gonna thread it underneath the left arm. So your shoulder and your head will go on the mat. If your head doesn't go to the mat, you can place your head on a block. Keeping the hips up. You can keep your left hand under your shoulder, or you can walk the left hand out so that your arm is straight. That will take the pose a little bit deeper for you. You might be able to roll a little bit more onto that right shoulder. Then on the next inhale, bring your left hand back underneath your shoulder, press up onto that left hand, stretch the right arm out, and place it back down. We'll do the other side, lifting the left arm out, just lift it as little or as much as you need, and then thread it underneath the right arm. Placing the head and shoulder on the mat or on a block. And keep this right hand underneath your shoulder or walk it out straight. Maybe allowing you to roll a little bit more onto the left shoulder. And on the next inhale, slide the right hand back under the shoulder, press up onto that hand, stretch the arm out, and place the hand back down. Next, we're going to come back to seated and come into butterfly pose. So bringing the bottoms of your feet together. You can have your feet as far or as close as you'd like. To get them the closest to you, just pick them up, bring them closer to you, and then bring your hands behind you and scoot yourself closer to your feet. Notice your knees just automatically drop open more. If you have blocks, you can place them under your knees if this is a little bit much. Then you can stay here or walk your hands out in front of you, starting to walk forward. That'll deepen your stretch, especially the inner thighs, open the hips, take it as far as you need to. One more breath here. And then start to walk your hands back in. Next, we're going to bring the right leg out to the side. This left foot's going to stay in. You can bring the heel to your left crease on your leg or over to the right. Just it's up to whatever feels good to you. And then adjust yourself. Move your seat around so that your sitting bones are evenly on the mat. Straighten this leg if possible, flex the foot, and then we're going to turn and face that foot, taking your hands on each side of your leg, just walking your body over your leg. So you're trying to line your body up with the leg. When you can't go any further going that way, then you can start to grab onto your shin, your ankle, or your foot and fold, bringing your nose closer to your knee. One more breath here. And then release and slowly come back up to center. We're going to take the right hand, slide it on the inside of the leg, bring your left arm up and over, reaching over, maybe for the toes. It may be nowhere near your hand, that's okay. And then to get a little bit more stretch, you can open up your left shoulder, so bring it up more towards the ceiling. You'll feel that kind of deepen into the side a little bit more. One more breath here. And then on your next inhale, slowly coming back up to the center, we're going to bring this right leg in, left leg out. Placing that foot on whichever side it feels the most comfortable, adjusting your seat so that you're even. And then turning and facing the left leg, one hand on each side, start to walk forward, lining up the body as you walk. And then folding when you can't go any further that way. Grabbing on to wherever that may be today. One more breath here. And then release and slowly come back up to center. We're going to slide the left hand on the inside of the leg, bring the right arm up and over. You want that deeper side stretch, see if you can open your shoulder up towards the ceiling more. One more breath. And then on your next inhale, slowly come back up to center. Now we're going to bring the right leg out as well. So we're coming into a wide legged seat. Bend your knees if you need to, no big deal. Flexing the feet, sitting up tall. And then bring your hands out in front of you. We're going to fold forward here. This is a tight one for a lot of people, so you might not be doing a whole lot of folding, and that's okay. Listening to your body, just breathe into the inner thighs, try to let them relax as much as possible. One more breath. And then slowly walk the hands back in. Next, we're going to bring the legs together and come into staff pose. So legs are coming straight out. Bend the knees always if you need to though. Sitting up tall. And then inhale, sweep the arms up into the air. And on the exhale, fold forward, hinging at the hips. Try stretching your hands out as far as you can first, and then folding. One more breath here. And then on your next inhale, release and slowly come back up to seated in staff pose. Next, we're going to bring the right foot outside of the left leg, left hand outside of the knee, right hand behind you. Inhale, lengthen the spine, exhale and twist. If you want a little bit more twist, bring your elbow and press it into the knee. And again, inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. Make sure that your neck and your head are not doing the twisting part. They're just gently following. And come back to center, back to staff pose. We'll do it on the other side. Left foot outside of the right leg, either hand or elbow outside of your knee. Inhale, lengthen, exhale, twist. On the next inhale, come back to the center and bring the legs out straight. Then we're going to swing the legs around, coming back to hands and knees. Make sure you're back on your mat just a little bit. And then we're going to walk the hands out. So keeping the knees and the hips where they're at, walk your hands out for puppy pose, bringing your chest and your head closer to the mat. You might be able to place your forehead on the mat. Take a couple of breaths here, stretching out the shoulders. One more breath here. And then on your next inhale, come back up, bring the hands underneath the shoulders. We'll be setting up for cat-cow. So wrists under shoulders, knees under hips and feet in line with knees. And then we're going to round the spine, press the spine up towards the ceiling, tuck the chin for cat. Drop the belly, lift the chin for cow. Round for cat. Drop and lift for cow. Go ahead and move through these with your own breath. Let's do one more cat. And one more cow. And then return to a neutral spine. Next, we're going to bring the right leg out behind you, coming up onto the ball of your foot. Press the heel back. Getting that calf stretch. To get more stretch, you can use your hands and press yourself even more. Bring the heel back up to center. We're going to lift that leg and take the toes off and over to the left side. So you're still on your toes, just bringing it over to the left, and then look over at your toes. So you're looking over the left shoulder, getting a good stretch, hopefully down that right side. Bring that foot back in. Now we're going to lift that foot up, bringing it even with your hip. Watch your left side so you're not falling over to that side. Bring yourself back to center, point your toes. Then we're going to lift the left arm out, stretching through those fingertips. Then we're going to bring this to a diagonal, so left arm out to the left, right leg out to the right. Engaging the core, pressing the belly button up towards the spine, and then bring it back to center. Bring it out to the side, back to center. One more time, bring it out to the diagonal, and back to center, point through the fingers and the toes. You can stay here or bend the right knee. Stay here or take your left hand and grab your right foot. Stay there or press your foot into your hand, opening up the shoulder and getting a good quad stretch on the right. There we go. Release the foot, bring the hands out to straight, foot back out to straight, and then set them down. Readjust, take a breath. And then we're going to bring the left foot out behind you, coming up onto the toe, and pressing back, finding your calf stretch, however much you need today. And then bring the heel back up to center, lift the foot, bring the toes off and over to the right. Look over the right at those toes. And bring that foot back in, and we're going to lift the leg up, coming straight out from the hip. Watch your weight over on this right one. Try to come back up towards center. Then we're going to lift the right hand. You can choose to do just the hand or just the leg as well. And then engaging the core, belly button up towards the spine. Bring the right arm out to the right, left leg out to the left. And bring it back in. Bring it out. And back in. The last one, bring it out to the side. Bring it back in, stretch through the fingers and the toes. Stay here or bend the left knee. Stay there or take your right hand and grab your foot. Stay there, press your foot into your hand, opening the shoulder. Good release, bring the hand and the foot back out to straight, and then set them back down. We're going to sit back into a child's pose. Your choice, wide knee or normal, but stretch those arms so you get that lower back stretch. Take a couple of breaths here. And then on your next inhale, come back to hands and knees, and then just circle around, stretching out the wrists. Then circle the other way. And come back to center. Now we're going to tuck the toes and come into a bent leg downward dog. So really bend the knees as if you're trying to get your ribs and your thighs to touch. Notice how your shoulders are here. And then as you start to straighten your legs, you don't have to bring them all the way to straight. Don't compromise your upper back and round forward. It's better to have bent knees and keep your shoulders the way that they are. Start to straighten your legs if you'd like. And maybe start to pedal your feet, raising and lowering, alternating heels. And then press both heels down towards the mat. We're going to lift the right leg up into the air, point the toes, stretch it up as high as you can, and then bend your knee, open your hip, and look underneath your right armpit. A good hip stretch. Then bring the knee back to center, look between your hands, step your foot in between your hands, take as many steps as you need. Low lunge. Then we're gonna drop the back knee, place the top of the foot on the floor, stretch the arms either straight up or into a back bend for crescent lunge. Come back up towards straight if you took the back bend. We're gonna do 3 cactus arms. So bending the elbows, opening the chest, and then straightening the arms. After your third one, we're gonna bring the hands back down outside of your foot, lift the back knee, step back to downward dog. Pressing those heels towards the mat. We're gonna lift the left leg up, pointing the toes, stretching it up as high as you can at first, and then open or bend the knee, open the hip, look underneath the left armpit. Bring the knee back to center, look between the hands, step that foot up in between your hands for a low lunge. And then we're gonna drop the knee, place the top of the foot on the floor, stretch the arms either straight up or into a back bend. Come back up, 3 cactus arms. Bending the elbows, opening the chest, straightening the arms. And then place your hand back down outside the foot, lift the back knee, step back to downward dog. Press the heels towards the mat. Take a child's pose anytime you need it. We're gonna add on to that. So we're gonna lift the right leg up, not bending the knee this time, but stretching the foot up, pressing that left foot heel down towards the mat more. And then step that foot up into a low lunge. Drop the knee, top of the foot on the mat, taking your crescent lunge, either straight up or back bend. Coming back to the center, 3 cactus arms. So then we're going to bring the hands back down to the mat, stepping into a warrior 1 from here. So you're going to press up, drop the back heel, lift the arms, front knee stays bent. Your right or your left toes are turned out just a little bit. Bending the front knee, kind of roll this left hip forward for your warrior 1. And then open up warrior 2. Front knee is still bent. You might need to slide that back leg out a little bit. Then we're going to come into reverse warrior. So drop the back hands up, bring the right arm up and over. And then coming back up to warrior 2. Now we're going to lift the back heel. So you're coming up onto your toes. This could be tricky. And twist open to the right. Revolve to warrior 2. Come back to warrior 2. Then we're going to cartwheel the hands back down to a low lunge and step back downward dog. We'll do that all on the other side. So lift the left leg up, pointing the toes, trying to press the right heel down closer towards the mat. And then step that foot forward into your low lunge. Drop the knee, top of the foot on the floor, crescent lunge. Coming back up through center, 3 cactus arms. Stretching back up and then placing the hands on the mat. Lift your knee, drop the back heel, and press up into warrior 1. Roll that right hip forward just a little bit. Open up warrior 2. Drop the back hand, left arm comes up and over, reverse warrior. Back to warrior 2, and then lift that back heel, twist open to the left, take your time. Come back to warrior 2. And then cartwheel the hands down to the low lunge. Step back, downward dog. We're going to go through all that again and then add one more part. So we're going to lift the right foot up into the air, stretch it up. Notice each time you might be getting your foot up a little bit higher. Step forward into low lunge. Drop the back knee, top of the foot on the floor. Your crescent lunge. Coming back up and then cactus arms 3 times. Putting the chest. Stretch the arms up and then place them on the mat. Lifting the knee. Back heel goes down for your warrior 1. Warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Warrior 2. Lift the back heel for that revolved warrior 2. Back to warrior 2. And then from here, we're going to come into triangle. So we're going to straighten the front leg. Slide your right hand down your leg. You can bring your hand to a block if you'd rather. Bringing the left arm straight up. You don't have to go all the way down, because we're going to kind of go back and forth. So now we're going to come into reverse triangle, which is just like reverse warrior, but with straight knee, or yes, straight knees. And then go back to the triangle. And back to reverse triangle. But then after this reverse triangle, we're going to come into side angle. So bend your right knee and elbow, bring that left arm straight up, and then parallel with your ear. Good, and then turn and face your foot, coming into low lunge. Step back, downward dog. Take a breath, readjust your feet, maybe pedal your feet a little bit. And then we're going to lift the left leg up into the air. Step that foot forward, low lunge. Drop the heel, or drop the knee, top of the foot on the floor, arms up. Back bend if you'd like. Back to center, 3 cactus arms. Stretch the arms up and then bring the hands down. Tuck the toe, lift the knee, come into warrior 1, planting that back heel. Roll the hip forward. And then warrior 2. Reverse warrior. Warrior 2. Lift the back heel, revolve warrior 2. Back to warrior 2. And then we're going to come into triangle. So straighten the knee, slide the left hand down, bring the right arm up. And reverse triangle. And triangle. And reverse. And then after this one, we're coming into side angle. So bending the left elbow, left knee, stretching that right arm straight up or bringing it parallel with your ear. Pressing through that straight leg foot. And then we're going to turn towards the left foot. Step your feet together and come into a forward fold. Taking a couple of breaths. Bend the knees a little bit. And then grab opposite elbows and just hang over your legs. And let your lower back release. Let your neck and shoulders relax. If you'd like, you can sway side to side. Maybe shake your head yes and no. And from here, plant your hands, bending your knees a little bit, and then heel toe your feet out a little bit wider than hip width. Make sure that your heels are in a little bit, toes are out a little bit. Have your block close by. You might need a block for this. We're going into Malasana, so we're squatting down. So if you need to, place the block there, or you can just sit on your mat. You can keep your hands here if you'd rather, or press your elbows into your knees, bring your hands to heart center, stretch the spine up, bring the tailbone straight down. Again, taking a few breaths. One more breath here. And we're going to place the hands down on the mat. We're going to straighten the legs, heel toe your feet out, probably just one more, maybe 2 more times. And then bend your knees, and we're going to come into goddess pose. So bend the knee, again, kind of like Malasana, tailbone straight down, straighten the spine, and then arms are in cactus. Belly button towards the spine. Then bring your hands to the tops of your thighs, and we're going to add a twist. So we're going to twist open to the right. Back to center, twist to the left. Back to center. Let's go one more time to the right. Back to center. One more time to the left. Back to center. Then we're going to bring the hands down to the mat, heel toe your feet out even wider for a wide leg forward fold. So you can take this as wide or as narrow as you want. Hands can be under shoulders. You can place them on blocks as well. You can bend your knees if you need to. And you want to take this Even deeper, you'll heel toe your feet out even more. Bring your hands and walk your fingertips in line with your toes and bring your head closer to the floor. You might be able to place the top of your head on the mat. If you're doing this, make sure you're pressing through the outer edges of your feet. And lift the head back up, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. Heel toe your feet in just a little bit if you took it wider. Then we're going to place the left hand underneath the nose, lift the right arm up, stretching open, twisting open to the right. Bring the hand back down. Right hand goes down, left arm goes up. One more time, left hand down, right arm up. And right hand down, left arm up. Bring both hands down. And we're going to heel toe the feet all the way in so that they're almost together. You just need a little bit of space. Knees are bent. We're going to come into Pada Hastasana. So we're going to lift the right foot up. Place your right hand so your top of your hand's on your mat and you're stepping on your hand. So you can just do one hand at a time or try both. Lifting the left foot up, placing that hand, folding forward. If you do one at a time, just make sure you get to both feet. One more breath here. And then take your hands one at a time out from underneath your feet. So you're in a forward fold. Your hands are out in front of you. And then come into a half lift, stretching the spine. And forward fold. And half lift. And forward fold. And we're going to sit back. So go ahead and bend your knees. Do a couple of boat poses. So sitting down, bringing your feet hip width apart, bending the knees, stretching the arms out straight and straightening your spine. Holding that there. And then lean back and bring your wrists over your knees, keeping that belly button pressing towards the spine. Try to keep the spine straight as well. Then you can lift one foot up, keep the knee bent. Place it down, lift your other foot up. Place it down. Do it one more time on each side. Making sure that when you lift your legs, you're using your core a lot to lift the legs, not just the legs. But now you can stay with that or lift both of your feet up. Keeping the knees bent, arms really straight and strong, straighten the spine. If you want to straighten your legs all the way out, go ahead for the full boat. And then place the feet down, come into that butterfly pose again, coming forward. You might even want to take star here, and star is taking your feet farther away from you and bending forward. So you can get your head a little bit closer to your feet. Just do whatever feels good. One more breath here. And then slowly start to lift your head. Bring your knees together and lay down onto your back. If you don't have your strap close by, make sure your strap is close by. Grab water along the way if you need it. Coming to laying on your back. Bring your arms down by your side, feet hip width apart, still knees bent. And then shrug your shoulders up to your ears and slide your shoulder blades down your back. Using your stomach muscles, press the lower back into the mat. Keep pressing until it feels like your whole back is touching the mat, and then try to hold that there. And release. But now you can continue to just keep pressing the lower back into the mat and holding, or you can move on to some bridge poses. So you can walk your feet in just a little bit, lift the hips up, holding that there. Lift the hips up as high as you're able to. And then set them down. Lift the hips back up. Stay here, or maybe lift and point the right toes. With the right leg, point the toes. Keep the hips lifted. Set that foot down. And then lift the left foot. Pointing the toes, lifting the hips. This shouldn't be into your neck. And set it down, set the hips down. Good. Last one. Remember, you can keep pressing and holding that lower back and releasing. Or we're going to lift the hips up. Stay there or come into bridge pose. So walk your shoulders underneath each other, clasp your hands underneath your hips, using your upper arms to press your chest up towards your chin, not your chin towards your chest. That will make it into your neck. Keep the knees in line with your hips. Release the hands and slowly lower down. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock side to side. And then come back to center. We're going to come into happy baby pose. So release the hands, bring the arms on the insides of your legs, grab the outside of your feet, bend the knees and bring the feet up towards the ceiling. Press your hands into your feet, feet into your hands. Try to let your shoulders relax down towards the mat, and then see if maybe you can press your tailbone down towards the mat. It's not a real, I mean, it is a movement, but not going to notice a big deal in watching, but you can feel it. It makes a big difference. One more breath here. And then release the feet. And stretch your legs out one at a time, long along the mat. Through the toes. Lift your arms up overhead for a full body stretch. Take a deep breath here. Let your feet relax and go ahead and grab your strap or whatever you have. We're going to place the strap around your right foot. So you can walk this left foot in and bend the knee if you'd like. Place this around the right foot and straighten that leg. If it doesn't go straight, it's fine. If you could use more stretch, straighten that left leg back out onto the mat. And then flexing this right foot. If you need to pull it in a little bit closer, you can. If you don't have a strap, you can just hang on to your leg. Taking some breaths into the leg. Sometimes we get really tight hamstrings, and that can cause lower back problems. So we're doing this type of stretch is really good even for your back, even though it doesn't seem like it. One more breath here. And we're going to take both of the straps into the right hand and open your leg out to the right. Try to keep your left shoulder on the mat. If you'd like, you can place your left hand on your hip, just for some balance. And then if you need more stretch, pull your foot up so closer to your head. And you should be feeling that on your inner thigh. So if you have no strap, then you can just hang onto your leg. You might be able to grab your toe. One more breath here. And then on the next inhale, bring that leg back up to center and then switch hands with the straps. So straps will go in the left hand, point your toes a little bit over to the left, and then drop that leg across and over to the left. You can bring your right arm out into T, and then either just look straight up at the ceiling, or to add a little bit more twist, you can look over the right fingertips. So now we're looking for a stretch deep in that right hip. One more breath here. And then on your next inhale, bring the foot and the head back up to center. Grab onto the straps again with both hands, straightening that leg one more time, and then see if maybe you can straighten your leg a little more or bring the leg a little bit closer to you than you did at first. One more breath. And then bend the knee, release that foot from the strap, point the toes up into the air, and slowly lower that leg long along the mat, stretching through the right toes. And then when your foot reaches the mat, stretch even more through the right toes. It will almost seem as if that right leg is longer than the left. We'll even that out, so you can bring that right foot back if you'd like. We're going to place the strap around the left foot. Bring that leg up towards straight. If you need more stretch, straighten the right leg back out. Flexing the left foot. Just taking some deep breaths. Notice if you're holding tension, maybe in your face anywhere, maybe in your jaw. Try to let that relax. Notice the space in between your eyebrows. You can let that relax. We're going to place both of the straps into the left hand and open that leg out to the left. Try to keep the right shoulder on the mat. Right hand can go on the right hip. It adds a little bit of balance. And if you need more stretch, pull the foot up closer towards your head. You'll find more stretch. You can also walk your hands in more on your strap, so closer to your foot. Deep breaths into the inner thigh. And then on your next inhale, bring that leg back up to center. Switch hands with the straps. The straps will go in the right hand. Point the toes over to the right. Drop that leg across and over to the right. Bring the left arm out into T. Again, trying to keep the left shoulder on the mat. You can look over the left fingertips if you'd like. One more breath here. And bring everything back to center. Grabbing both ends of the strap again, straightening that leg maybe a little bit more, or maybe bringing it a little bit closer to you than you did at first. Keeping that foot nice and flat. One more breath here. And then release your foot from the strap. Set the strap aside, point the left toes straight up into the air. Slowly lower that leg long along the mat. When the foot reaches the mat, really stretch through the left toes. And then stretch through the right toes. And then again, arms up overhead for a full body stretch. Nice deep breath there. We're going to bring the arms out into T. Bring your feet to the mat, bending the knees, and then bring your outer edges of your feet to the edge of your mat. And we're going to drop the knees over to the right. You can stay with just that, or maybe for more twists, bring your right foot on top of your left knee. You might want to look over the left fingertips. On your next inhale, bring the head back to center, drop the foot back onto the mat and slowly bring the knees back to center. Readjust your hips and then drop the knees over to the left. You can stay with just this or bring the foot on top of the knee. Either way, maybe look over the right fingertips. Your next inhale, placing the left foot back down, bringing the knees and the head back to center, and then hugging the knees into your chest. Rock side to side if that feels good. And then bring your hands to your palms, to your knees. We're going to circle the knees out away from each other. And then circle the other way. Bring them back in towards each other. And then set the feet down. Just straighten your legs back out onto the mat, and we're going to get ready to come into Shavasana. So if there's anything you need to be comfortable, do that now. Get a blanket if you need it for cushion, or if you need to cover up. If you have pillows, you can place them under your knees like a bolster. Get yourself comfortable. And then when you're ready, laying on your back, start to close your eyes. Quiet your thoughts. Start to deepen and lengthen your breath. And allow your body to take in your yoga practice. This is where it all comes together. And starting with the top of your head, imagine the tension melting out of your forehead, out of your jaw, and out of your neck. And imagine the tension melting out of your chest, shoulders, arms, and hands. Imagine the tension melting out of your back, abdomen, hips, legs, and feet, until your whole body is completely relaxed. You have nothing to do for the next several minutes, but relax. Shavasana. Slowly start to bring your awareness back to your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Make some wrist circles, ankle circles. Then let your head drop over to the left. And then over to the right. And then when you're ready, roll over onto your right side, pausing there for a moment. And then when you're ready, using your hands to push yourself back up to seated with your eyes closed. If you'd like, you can place your hands at heart center. And take a nice deep breath here. Take a moment to notice how you feel. Notice the difference in your thoughts, your breath, and your body from when you first started today. And thank yourself for allowing yourself this time to not only work on the outside, but the inside as well. Thank you for your practice and your presence. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. You can unmute yourself if you want to say anything, or you can just go. Up to you. I can also unmute you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Holly. I'm glad you came. Good to see you all. Hopefully we'll see you again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have a good weekend, everybody.
You too.
Thank you.
You're welcome.